delayed. It's fine.
Yo, Paulie!
Particles.
Can I tell you something, Tony?
Don't pretend like I got a choice. Particles.
Yo, Paulie!
Here we go. Here we go.
All right, man. Wow. Well. You can never tell. This is the This is the aftermath now. Here today.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the party. Today is the aftermath, my friends. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Paulie Mac Particles. It's a high noon installation on a Friday afternoon, as is our tradition. Every Friday we launch at high noon. It's an old tradition between Tony, Creative Tony, myself, and Rod Brooks. We used to partake and celebrate this kind of ritual we dubbed high noon.
Yep.
Way back in the 90s. And by the way, I want to shout out Rod Brooks for coming. We're going to get into all of the review of yesterday's bash in just a second here. But Tony, first and foremost, and Scott Ostler will join us today from the San Francisco Chronicle, one of our longest standing friends over at the guys. Yeah. He's a legend. He's so modest, but don't forget, this is Scott Ostler, who used to cover the Showtime Magic Johnson Lakers for the LA Times in the 80s. He's been doing great work at the Chronicle for a few decades now, and we just love Scott. He's a great guy. So we're going to talk Warriors with him, some Giant baseball as well. He'll join us around 12:30. And until we get to that, Tony, I just want to check on your head today, take your temperature. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you my own review first. I look at you. I already know without you saying a word. I've known you long enough. I know what those glazed eyes mean. But I will tell you this. My throat took a beating yesterday, dude. I'm kind of like losing my voice, a lot of screaming, a lot of beer drinking. Could have been a couple of puffs, some unmentionables happening at one point, right in the middle of some Arkansas fans walking down the street to go to Chase Center. It was a scene, bro. It was a total scene. But I got to say, Tony, how's your head, first of all? And then we'll get into some thank yous and talk about yesterday a little bit. But how you feeling today, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm a little slow today. But
as Ted said in Ted, after he fell off the green monster at the end of Ted, and Mark Wahlberg goes, the little teddy bear, he goes, "Hey, how you feeling?" And he goes, "I'm a little funked up." Like that's how I'm feeling. I'm a little funked up. That's how I feel today, bro. I'm a little funked up. Yeah.
I mean, it was a great time, and then there was a kind of like a pub crawl for those that stayed late. And you know, that's where
a pub crawl. Bro, I gotta tell you though, some of those bars in the Dog Patch neighborhood, I'm very curious about. There's one like
a great hood. God, it's
yeah,
such a great hood, man.
It is. I like it over there, man. I like it over there.
It was a lot of fun, man, and just everybody that showed up. It was just a great day.
Yeah.
And the Giants pulling off the win, just incredible. It was just
so check it out, dude.
More than one person came up to me and said, "That's the particles. Those are the particles right there." You know,
so it's so funny. Like for that ninth inning, and I got to tell you, the game was not going that well up until the ninth inning. Logan Webb had kind of a shaky start. The Giants were striking out every time he turned around. Boom, there's another whiff. There's another K, and then all of a sudden, like. It really was particles personified in that ninth inning. All of a sudden, the whole place at Longbridge just kind of stopped, started watching the game. Next thing you know, we got guys on base. Here comes Patrick Bailey. Here comes Wilmer Flores with the bomb to win the game. And it was like somebody asked me, like right in that moment, he goes, "Paul, I'm not kidding. I forget who this was, but somebody said, Paulie, what is the definition of particles?" And then like about a minute later, Flores hits that game-winning home run, and I go, I can't define it any more than what you just experienced. That's particles.
Yes.
Like the whole room, the energy was focused. It was so positive, and then bam, the Giants win on opening day. It was,
well, dude, I remember Patrick Bailey's at bat when it was runners on first and third, and there was 2 outs, dude. And Patrick Bailey, he has a great at bat, 3-0 count. Then he fouls one off, and then just a nice, easy swing back up the middle, base hit. It was such a beautiful swing. Like, you know, I would want to show that to my kids that I coach. I just want to show them, like, see, guys, you don't need to swing hard, just nice and easy.
Nice and easy. Yeah.
And just try to make contact. And I always talk about the 3-1 count too, man. That's like just the, you know, that's like the God's gift of baseball counts. And back at the middle, and then Wilmer, you know, just Wilmer, a healthy Wilmer, dude. I'll take a healthy Wilmer all damn day. So
I got to tell you the truth, Tony. We haven't talked about this a lot because it hadn't been baseball season, but now that it is, you want me to make a little confession on a high noon broadcast? Wilmer Flores, he might be my favorite Giant. I'm serious.
Nice.
I love that dude. I've been a Wilmer guy for a long time. He just doesn't give a damn. He goes up there with that.
Saying, maybe it was, I forget, he was saying like he needs to move on from the Friends theme. And I'm like, you know, I don't know. I kind of like that he still has the Friends theme, But I wouldn't mind if he did move on from it too. But it is a cute thing that he still does the Friends theme. I know Darren Chan, our buddy who's in the booth, he tries to play it during the post-game rap whenever they talk about Wilmer. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge Wilmer fan too.
As they say on the streets, Tony, that's y'all's business. Okay, that's y'all's business. I'm not going to interfere with Wilmer and his walk-up song. If that's what works for him, you let him go ahead and do that.
Totally.
Tony, now again, I got the damaged vocal cords today. We punished ourselves with pleasure yesterday, and I just want to say thank you to Longbridge Pizza. Let's shout them out, Tony. If you want to throw the logo up there, thank you, Longbridge Pizza. Thank you, Neil Denardi, the owner of the shop. I mean, he accommodated all of us and the entire PMP army. And he did it beautifully. He laid out so much food yesterday for everybody. And Tony, this is the kind of guy Neil is, a South San Francisco vibe. Oh, and I was taught how to say it properly yesterday for the first time. Now I know I don't pronounce the TH. I got a lesson. I got lessons in pronunciation, and I love it. They were saying, don't say South San Francisco. It's one word, and don't pronounce the TH. South San Francisco. That's how I was told to say it. South San Francisco.
Or just South City. Just South City.
Even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
South City Bruisers or something like that for our band name, because we need a good name. But anyway, all of y'all down in South City, thank you. And Neil just laid out all this food, and he basically threw out several pizzas, tons of sandwiches, and it was really a buffet style. And you know what? He didn't charge anybody. I just want everybody to know that Neil did not charge for the food yesterday. So Neil, thank you so much. I look forward to
the eggplant parm sandwich that he just walked out and just put it right in front of me. He goes, dude, I need you to try it immediately. I go, oh my God. It was the bomb. It was so freaking good. And it had that sauce, and the eggplant wasn't too thick, but it wasn't too thin. It was
right about that time you were reaching for your eggplant parm. I was making a beeline for the freaking chicken parm in the back, bro. And it was cut up in the wedges. I might have grabbed 2 wedges off of that bad boy. Give me 2 of those. Yes. And by the way, the
pizzas kept coming out, man. Andre kept bringing pizza after pizza, and Karen kept bringing pizza after pizza. I was like, dude, this is incredible, man. What a scene. And then the chili from Adam at Deli Board. Shout out Deli Board.
Dude, Adam, secret weapon of yesterday. He got Adam running around with his chili, dude. It was out of control. Yeah.
I love the community, like the brotherhood or the familial vibe that Neil and Andrew and these guys and Adam, they all have with like the other businesses in the dog patch and in San Francisco. It's such a cool thing.
Yeah. Tom Peralta, where it's already got. Oh, there it is. Adam was the X factor. No question.
Yes.
Listen, for everybody that came out, I just want to thank you myself personally. Honestly, thank you guys so freaking much for showing up yesterday. Because, when I woke up yesterday, Tony, I had a moment. I'm just going to reveal this to everybody. I'm serious. Like, I woke up and I was like, shit, what if nobody comes? Like, what if nobody shows up? That would be pretty embarrassing. But you know what? It was the opposite, bro. The place was packed, and I cannot thank you guys enough. And the main thing was, it's like Tony said, we just wanted to create a vibe where we could all hang out. And Neil was so courteous and gracious with his restaurant that he said, everybody come on down.
Well, that's the thing too, Paulie. Like you asked about, like we talked about, should we do a show? And we're like, the purpose of this first hangout was to hang out. If we did a show, we wouldn't be able to hang out.
It was better to just have a watch party. That way we can mingle and mix and kind of float around the room, which I did, dude. I'm pretty sure I met just about everybody yesterday.
Corinne brought a pre-made Manhattan, dude, in Tupperware from probably 1972. It was incredible.
Corinne's amazing. You guys are all freaking amazing. And there she is. There's Corinne right there. Good afternoon, Corinne. How are you? Hey, Liam, Sanchi, Dom, Ryan, Fawn, Patty from Napa.
Hang on, buddy. Hang on. NorCal Refrigeration and HVAC jumping in. Sorry I missed, boys. Literally fell off. The wheels literally fell off at work. Did Hans Luva behave himself?
You take that one, Tony. I'll let you. And thank you, NorCal. Thank you,
brother.
Yes, yeah.
Hans Lufa definitely behaved himself, but Hans Lufa might have been tagging along in our pub crawl afterwards. So,
also a couple of special thank yous I want to throw out there, Tony. Also, thanks again, Longbridge Pizza. You guys are freaking amazing. If you're going down to Chase Center this weekend for the March Madness, definitely stop by Longbridge. Give Neil a fist bump. And you know what, Tony? They're leaving the merch up. All that merch with the shirts and the stickers and the posters. There's plenty left, and it'll be available. If you missed yesterday, you want to grab something, stop by Longbridge and load up. Also, Tony, I want to thank Carlos at Flex Funding. I want to thank Carlos.
Totally.
Carlos, it wasn't even he actually flew in for the event because he was doing business elsewhere, but he wanted to come by. Carlos De La Fuente, give him a shout, 925-250-4894, Carlos at myflexnow.com, to handle all of your loan questions, your mortgage issues, your HELOC concerns. If you want to inquire about a HELOC loan, that's a specialty. no hidden fees, 8-day turnaround with closeout. It's great. And Carlos was hanging out, dude. By the way, Tony, the size of a Carlos.
That's what I said. I didn't expect him to be as big as
bro.
dude.
He's kind of like an offensive lineman, like the size, the build. Because at one point, like I slapped him on the chest just in a friendly way. I'm like, Carlos, man, bang, and all I felt was like a granite pec. It was like a pectoral made of granite.
Yes.
I'm like,
I got a hug from Carlos, and I was like, Jesus,
he's
dude.
like a brick wall. Yeah, he's like a freaking brick wall.
Also wearing the Tokyo Giants hat too. I love that as well.
Yeah, no, Carlos was dope. So Carlos, thank you for showing up as well. And we'll get deeper into flex funding next week when we get back to their ads. But I want to say, Tony, also Don Peralta. Listen, round of applause for Don Peralta, the creator of all the merch that you saw yesterday. And also, Dom. Hey, Dom.
Yeah.
Not exaggerating when I say I probably ate about, I don't know, 5 or 6 biscotti last night. And then this morning, I had a bowl of cereal with some Wheaties. And I'm like, what am I doing, bro? Why am I eating Wheaties when I can be? And the blueberries are good. I like my superfoods. I'm not going to lie. But then I said, you know what? Why don't I just take a handful of Dom's biscotti and start dunking it in my coffee, which I freaking did. Dom, outstanding biscotti.
Hey, Paulie, on that note, I think
Yes.
his mom made the biscotti.
Well,
and,
here's to Mrs. Peralta. She knows what she's doing.
It reminds me of my mom and my aunts and my grandmother making biscotti back in the day. But dude, my bag didn't make it home. I ate the entire bag on the ride home. Like I didn't even make it home.
No, we needed it too to soak up some of that booze. Now, Mark Graves.
I want to show Los sent this in, Paulie, and I just want to we're talking about Los D and Flex Funding. I want to share this. This is Los. He just sent this today. Look at that. It's Los with the PMP Army shirt on, man. Isn't that great?
Yeah. I like how our names are on the sides. Tony, Paulie. Los looking good. Los looking damn good today, brother.
Los looking good, my man. Thank you for sending that in, dude.
And thank you for coming. But Don Peralta, dude, the day you had such a big part in that day yesterday, dude. Thanks for all you do and all you've been doing. Los is a gangster. He looks awesome. Also, I actually wrote some names down. And I saw one more super, Tony, if you can retrieve that from Mark Graves. I want to comment on that
right on,
quick.
Mark. Happy opening day yesterday, bud. That was Mark, on, Mark. Thank you, dude.
Okay.
Hats off to Rags for hosting Zoom. Nice, dude.
I actually wanted to comment on this. So for the people that couldn't get there, we had a crew on Zoom just kind of watching the party. And Mark, thank you, brother, for checking in today. And Rags, dude, Rags was like the featured host on the Zoom that was watching the party. But also, dude, my God, did you see my guy Steve yesterday? Steven, the guy with the long hair and the posters, the Stones poster. I wanted to hang with that guy. I'm like, Steven, your vibe is freaking amazing. Just the face on him was like it was fueling my engine yesterday.
How about John Joseph jumping behind the counter of the merch booth and said, "You know what? I got it. I got it. I'm going to run the merch booth."
Dude, he dropped anchor too. He dropped anchor over there.
Yes,
and thank you, John Joseph. Thank you, bro, for all your work yesterday. Also want to shout out Bonnie. We were talking to Bonnie on the stream yesterday. Bonnie was out there for a long time. So everybody that checked in via stream, thank you.
Look at Sanchi, by the way. Sanchi checking in. Sanchi, great time in the pub crawl, buddy. That was a lot of fun. And just how about a Brooksy showing up? Now I get why the ladies dig Rod.
I know well, that's the thing. Once Rod Brooks shows up, he makes all the other guys look bad. But the lady, I told you, LL Cool Brooks, dude. Ladies love Rod Brooks. And Sanchi, thank you for checking in today as a super. And no, Rod, how about other Murph and Mac alumni? What do you want? A pecan hit? Boom, you got it.
Dude, that was great.
Here comes pecan, dude. Patty from Napa. All of the stars, the Hall of Famers in the PMP community were there. Also, Noemi. First of all, Noemi, I want to say sorry for mispronouncing your name for like 3 months. Sorry about that. But she's such a sweetheart. She didn't hold it against us. And the hot sauce, dude, the green apple freaking hot sauce. What are you kidding me, Noemi?
Paulie, by the way, I had some this morning. She's right. It's got a little tart to it, man, which is fantastic.
Well, that's the green apple. That's the green apple. And by the way,
Noemi, nice job.
I wouldn't be a proper San Franciscan if I didn't shout out Green Apple Books on Clement. If we're talking Green Apple, got to give him some love, as always. Now, Tony, moving on down the line, I wanted to also thank, Stinking Badges, dude. I put in some time with Stinking Badges yesterday. And I think his real name is Greg, right? Is that the guy's real name, Greg? Yeah. Patty and Leah Phillips, always great to see. Leah, Christian Amru, but you know what's funny? My buddy Christian Amru is in the house right now, and he's like typing. He's sitting downstairs while I'm doing the show. Christian Amru coming in with a Brooks rules. I can't disagree. He does. And how about Rags inventing the Tony's top 3 like gang sign? I don't even know how he did that. I don't even know if I can recreate it. Go ahead.
It's the T. You do the T, and then you do the three. Wait, hold on a second. The T
No, it's
and
not
then the
easy.
three.
Oh, yeah. All
The
right.
T and then the three. Dude,
Tony's
phenomenal.
top three. Well, Rags was Rags. You're a Hall of Famer too. I hope to see you at the next one in person. Because once Rags walks through that door, it's going to be a madhouse, bro. The whole
Yes.
dynamic
Yeah.
will change once
Yeah.
Rags walks. He is like the Tasmanian devil in a good way at parties, and we'll get him
AP,
out here.
I want to thank everybody who drove like long distances to get there yesterday. John Joseph and the whole Roseville crew.
Noemi, I think from Martinez. I think she came from
Noemi,
Martinez.
yeah, dude.
How,
And,
how about Tim Anderson, former San Francisco 49er, driving up from like San Carlos or Redwood City to make it? And Tim Anderson was what a great treat to have Tim hanging out with us. I know a lot of our listeners talk to him. Also, Vicky from Metallica.
Vicky, yes, Vicky from Metallica.
Vicky, I can't say enough good things about Vicky. She is such a sweetheart, and she is a monster Giants fan. So, Tony, on that note, give me your impressions of opening day. How do you liking our squad? How you not liking our squad? Just your baseball kind of reactions day after that opening day win. How you feeling about our squad?
I feel well. I mean, one game. First of all, thank you, Los. Los says Tony's dad was incredible. Really enjoyed. Yes, thank you.
Tony's dad, Jesus Christ!
Thank you.
Of course, dude. Face on a bit. Let me tell you something about Big Ed, real quick, dude. He comes in with that face, and first of all, you see Tony in his dad, which I love. And your dad is. I asked your dad. I go, hey man, how was the Sphere? And he was like, oh, it was just amazing. It was just amazing. I mean, the music was great. And he goes, I heard songs that I heard that when I was a young man, I would hear like "Give Me Some Lovin'" and "Good Lovin'" and stuff like that. And your dad your dad's a good vibe machine, bro.
Man.
He's like Yoda. When Yoda hit the Star Wars trilogy, it was like, wow, this guy permeating a lot of good energy to helping out Luke Skywalker. I kind of feel like that's how he is. He's the Yoda of the Ryan family. And let me tell you what, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of Tony's got a family. I mean, you're like the Kennedys of the West Coast, bro. There's so many. There are so many Ryans out there. But yeah,
my dad and Rod have a special thing too. They've had a special bond for years, man. Rod always asked about him, and he always asked about Rod. So they were happy to see each other too. So that was cool. And hang on one sec, Corinne jumping in. Hey, Corinne, thank you so much. I'll probably be sporting your shirt to the KBR opening day at 58 Social. Yes, that's awesome.
Okay. Thank you, Corinne. Thank you. Yeah, see, also I love meeting Tony's dad. Oh, Corinne, I got to make a correction. That wasn't Winks. That was another one of my Jersey friends. That's Eugene, Christian Amaru. I know it's confusing.
It's the best.
Because, Tony, it's just one of those things like you see on The Sopranos, everybody has a nickname. It really is like that on the East Coast. You just get a nickname assigned to you. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not. That's your handle. So
totally.
So I'm just telling you, that's how it works. So my nickname was Smack. Christian Narag is Rags. My other friend who you met, Corinne, that's Christian Amaru. His name is Eugene. I know, it's very confusing. And Winks is another one of my Jersey boys. He lives in LA now. He was not there yesterday. So, but I'll get him up. We'll get Winks up.
Well, I was gonna say, I see people in the comment line saying bummed to miss it. And anybody who couldn't make it, of course, we would have loved to have had you. But there will be future engagements that we will get into down the road. But this isn't our one and only. This is more in the future.
Yeah, Tony, I actually put the bug in Neil's ear yesterday. I'm like, Neil, because I think we all agreed that we had a great time yesterday. And it was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for a lot of people. And I appreciate the sacrifice because I know that it was a work day and people had to sacrifice like their lunch hour or even taking the day off. So
but this goes back to my thing. Opening day should be a freaking holiday, dude. It should be in Cincinnati. The city of Cincinnati shuts down for opening day. Did you know that? Did you know that? Why can't just America do that for opening day? They say it's America's game. They say it's America's pastime. They say it's the oldest game in America. Why don't we give everybody a chance to go enjoy baseball on opening day?
Listen, Tony,
is it too much to ask? Is that too
no,
much
it's
to
not.
ask?
You got no resistance from Paulie Mack. I'm all in on that. I'll sign the petition. Noemi coming in as a super. Here she comes.
Oh, Noemi, nice.
My husband is now. By the way, your husband is cool as hell. He's a great dude. I enjoyed talking to him. He said, "Yeah, your PMP button. That's awesome. I had a PMP button on my shirt yesterday too." So again, thank you, Noemi. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Shout out to your Robert De Niro tattoo, by the way. She's got a De Niro tat like on her arm, like right in here.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like on the she had to roll her sleeve up and show me like the inside of her bicep. And it's not just any De Niro. It's De Niro with the slick back hair from Godfather 2. One of my favorite roles of all time. The young Vito Corleone, the young Vito. Thank you, Noemi. You're freaking amazing, and thank you for that hot
Noemi.
sauce.
That's really
all
nice of you. Yeah.
Tony, let's
back
do
to the
a
game. Back to the
Yeah.
game, Paulie. The Giants struck out 17 times, dude. I mean,
that's
so-
a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's
There's
what
only-
Will Clark see, but let's pause right there because that's what Will Clark was screaming and yelling about on that Twitter post a few months ago. He's like, the way guys approach hitting these days, it's like they're swinging for the fences, home runs or nothing. And Will's whole argument is like, if guys would just get back into like getting on base,
contact, just get on base. Get on, get him over, get him in. It's not like, come on, that's the game that I love, like the strategy about it, and the I don't know, the deception, and the like. Why I love the bunt and small ball so much is because it catches teams by surprise. It causes chaos. Home runs happen, and when I tell this to the kids, home runs happen when you're not trying to hit them usually, or at least that's what used to be the case. Now people are trying to hit them all the time, and yes, you get these, gargantuan dudes like Aaron Judge. Of course, they're going to hit a lot of bombs, but your average player, your average sized player, like a Patrick Bailey. That's why I loved his 3-1 swing last night in the 9th inning for just contact. He was just like, I got to put this ball in play and get that freaking run in. So I just loved that at bat from Bailey, but 17 strikeouts out of 27 outs, dude. Like that's got to change, dude. I mean, but Logan Webb, shout out to Logan Webb. I mean, he did a great job, three runs, and
I don't think he was pleased with his performance. I don't think he was thrilled with his outing yesterday, Logan Webb.
He's hard. He's a tough customer.
I like that.
He's rarely pleased. Like he wants shutouts, right? Which that's what you want from your pitcher mentality. But man, I'll take it. I just said to my dad as he was leaving, I said, all I want is them to tie it up. If they lose the game, fine. But I would love to see him just tie it up and just battle for a full 9, right?
All I want them for tie it up, and all I want is a Pepsi, Mom, and I'm not on drugs. Tony,
and
I want to.
She wouldn't give it to me.
Yeah,
just
Mom,
Pepsi.
I'm not on drugs. I'm just thinking, here's Patty from Napa. By the way, I was just quoting suicidal tendencies. Oh, a couple of other shout outs. I wanted to shout out my friend Jamar. I haven't seen Jamar in a long time. Jamar came down yesterday. He's up in Vallejo. He made the trip. Thank you for coming, Jamar. It was great to hang with you. Great to see you. A great mug on Jamar. Patty,
Paulie, I had a great rap with Jamar, and I said, by the way, dude, you're like a 10 out of 10 for Lamont Wade Jr. He walked in. I'm like, dude, you look.
Okay.
I was like,
I see
whoa,
it.
Dude.
Yeah, we flew in Lamont Wade. I mean, he missed the game to hang with us. Yeah.
I said, Lamont's a handsome man, so I meant it as a compliment, and I hope he took it as a compliment. But I had a great rap with Jamal. Patty from Napa, so great to see you yesterday.
Patty,
thank you. And
Patty's just going to do Patty things. I mean, when I walked in the door yesterday, Patty was already there. You know what I mean? We got there like 2 hours early, and Patty was already there setting shit up and everything. So thank you, Patty. And shout out to Mikey, too, for loaning Patty to us for the day. Mikey is the man, and Dom is the boss, Patty. You are 100% correct. And I hope you enjoyed yourself yesterday. We all did. We enjoyed hanging with Patty. Now, Tony,
can I be negative Nelly for a second? Not about Patty, but about the Giants. I don't like Ryan Walker giving up a run in the bottom of the 9th. I didn't like that because your clothes are coming in. I'm sure he was nervous. I'm sure his opening day jitters. I'm sure all of that played a role.
Yep.
But I'd like the closer to close, not to like I don't know. I mean, yes, he had a 3-run cushion, but let's just get 3 outs and go home. Not make it interesting.
No.
But put the ball in play a little more often, not 17 strikeouts, and let's not have our closer give up any runs in the 9th. So I know it's asking for a lot, but day off today, which sucks. Whatever. Okay. Day off after opening day. There's going to be a day off. Why?
I think it sucks too. I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, it's the first game of the season. Can we just do a proper series, Tony? Can I get a 3-game set without any days off? I mean, come on, man.
It doesn't. I don't know, man. MLB. They're. I don't know. And then
what's crazy? Go ahead, T. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
Well, no. It's a whole other topic about robo-umps and stuff, which we're going to get into at some point on the show. Because I'd actually like to ask Scott Ostler coming up in 5 minutes what he thinks about the robo-umps, because I just feel like the game is heading in a weird direction. And
I don't disagree. You know what's weird also about yesterday, Tony, is you got to wonder, I do sometimes, just about the state of baseball in the U.S. Like, where is it in the pecking order of you made a reference earlier today on the show. You said, hey, it's our national pastime. Give us the day off. And I guess it is our national pastime. But you know what? I don't think the people over at ESPN feel that way, because I saw a tweet from Larry Krueger. Shout out to Krueger. Couple of days ago, where Larry Krueger was pissed. He goes, dude, I'm on ESPN.com. They don't even have an MLB icon at the top of the page anymore. Like, they have men's college basketball, pro football, hockey, NBA. They got the NHL up there, and they don't even have the MLB icon. You have to like click at some other drop down menu to get to baseball, which I take as a bad sign.
Such a bummer.
If ESPN feels like there's not enough traffic on their homepage to put an MLB icon up on the top, it makes me kind of wonder about the state of the game. Now, you mentioned
That
Scott
should have
Ostler.
been part of our. That should have been. Sorry, Paulie, go ahead. But that
No,
should
you're
have been
good.
part of our bummer bracket. Should have been Roger Goodell versus Rob Manfred, like two just D bags running two of the greatest sports in the history of sports. Like, get them both out of here. Like, I like Adam Silver. I think Adam Silver does a pretty good job. Goodell and Manfred, bye. Just peace.
I want to say this, Tony. I don't disagree, by the way. They're not. Both those commissioners can take a hike.
Oh, by the way, Goodell, what did you make this year? 48 mil? 52?
Is that after his $20 million bonus to himself or after? I'm just trying to, I don't remember. Tony, I know we only got a minute or two left before Scott joins us. So let's do just a quick set list look at the second half of the show today and what we have in front of us, because it's Friday and I want to get some of our rituals in before we send everybody off into the weekend. So, Tony, if I could get a Tekashi from my head.
You're asking for Tekashi on a Friday. Okay.
It's a hangover Friday. I need him. Yeah.
Oh, stand by, Paul. Stand by. Here we go.
Need
Come on, Clint! You're an alpha beta!
It's helping me. This is helping.
Good.
Sasaya Takashi. Okay,
Doug
Tony.
checked in again on Blue Sky. Just, Doug in Japan checked in again on Blue Sky.
Thanks, Doug.
Good.
I love you, brother. I hope to cross paths someday. I'd love to get over to Japan someday, study that samurai culture. I love that. All right, Tony, what are we doing today? Help me out. What are we doing?
Got, as we said, the great Scott Ostler is joining us in about 3 or 4 minutes. But then after Scott, we're going to talk Paulie's particle picks of the week. I've got a Paulie's punks for this week, by the way.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right there. Or,
excellent, man. Yeah.
Hold on. I've got props here today. There's the other sticker. Right there.
Misfits font. Yes, Dom. Thank you,
Great
brother.
job, Dom. And then our musical assignment of the week, and then we can bid everybody a wonderful weekend and wrap up the show after that.
Okay, so we're going punks. We're going music assignment and particle pick. It's a trifecta.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, why don't we do this? Let's pause the bummer brackets until next Monday. We'll get back into those because we got a lot of ground to cover there. And then also, Tony, I want to, even though Rags immortalized his top three, Tony's, I don't even know if I can do it, but that top three hand gang sign he invented, we'll punt that to Monday as well for when.
That's fine. We'll resume those Monday. And by the way, Scott Ostler is in the green room. He is enjoying he's enjoying all the refreshments that we laid out for him. So if you're ready to go, Paulie, I'll bring Mr. Scott Ostler onto the show if you're ready.
I'm definitely ready. I would love to see and talk to Scott. It's been a while. So, let's bring in Scott Ostler. He's one of our favorite columnists with the San Francisco Chronicle. We've been reading him for a long, long time, and he just puts in so much great work. And so for the first time on Polymax Particles, let's welcome our great friend from the Chronicle, Scott Ostler. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm good, fellas. How are you guys doing? And just a small complaint, but back in the green room, I told you no green M&Ms.
Yes.
I see Scott knows. Scott knows exactly. I don't want to have Scott have to trash our green room out of frustration. We'll remove the green M&Ms next time, Scott. That is a promise. So great to see you, buddy. I've been reading you all the while. We're launching our new show here, and we thought it was time we talked to you about some of the sporting matters in town right now. And I think the first thing I want to hit with you today, Scott, is the Golden State Warriors, where they are at this point. And, Draymond Green, I like this, Scott. I want to get your take on this. I like that Draymond Green has been openly talking about championships. And he started that during the All-Star break. He said, we can win a title this year. And he keeps putting that message out into the air. And I think it's a good thing, Scott, for the younger players to know that that's the mentality, like that's the standard. We're not just trying to get into the postseason. We want to win the whole thing. My question to you is that a realistic stance for Draymond and the Warriors to take right now in your mind?
Yeah, it definitely is. It depends on a lot of things, obviously, and injuries and how Steph Curry comes back from this little back problem he's got and how they do without Gary Payton. But it's realistic because the bounce they got from Jimmy coming to town Jimmy Butler is really significant. Yeah. And I think it surprised everybody. It surprised me for sure. And what do I know? But I think it surprised the Warriors. I think it surprised Steph Curry and Steve Kerr and all those guys just how they know what Jimmy Butler could do and all that stuff. But the fact that it came together that quickly and the chemistry worked so well and it was such a perfect fit, I think that was kind of a shock. And I think that's one of the reasons Draymond came out so strongly. So I think it's real. It's still a long shot and it's still kind of a dream, a little bit far-fetched right now, but yeah, why not? Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Scott. I think they are capable of pulling off a magic trick this year. I think they can surprise some teams. You know, the way that Butler left Miami was kind of disappointing because I love Pat Riley, Scott. I'm a big fan of Pat Riley, and I always have been since he was a coach with the Lakers, onto the Knicks, what he's done in Miami. I love his style. I know he's a hard ass and he's old school, but what was your take on that whole thing? Because I knew Pat Riley wasn't going to budge. Like, if you get into a grudge match with Riley, he's not going to back down, but Butler made it such a public thing. Like, that's why I was worried about how he was going to fit in. But to your point, no, it's been seamless. But what was your take on that whole thing, the way he exited Miami? And he's had sloppy exits before from other teams. So do you think that hurts him, his legacy, or what's your take on that, Scott?
No, I think just part of Jimmy Butler's legacy is always going to be that he's not everybody's sweetheart all the time. That when he fits in, and when things go bad, he takes it to kind of an extreme. And I would love to find out what went on down there in Miami. And I thought I was close to maybe finding out at the All-Star break, the All-Star festivities. There was an event, a Hall of Fame event, and Pat Riley walked in. And I knew Riley from back in the day because I was down in LA and I covered the Lakers when he was the coach.
Sure.
In fact, I knew Riley before he was coach. He was the second banana on the broadcast team.
Yep.
And he was actually doubled as the team's traveling secretary.
Oh, man.
So I was traveling with the team and going on the road. And the first time I ever hooked up with the Warriors, the Lakers, it was a last minute thing. I was sent on a road trip and I dashed out of town with no money. And I got to town and I had to call Riley up because he was the traveling secretary.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, Riles, I got to borrow like $40, man. I don't have my money for my hotel." And he got me the money. He rounded up. He turned out to be a great guy. And we spent a lot of time hanging out in bars after games and talking. So anyway, I ran into him at the All-Star break and had a chance to talk to him for about 5 minutes. And I said, "Hey, by the way, thanks for sending Jimmy our way. It's been much more entertaining." And he said, "Well, I was actually glad that I could send," and he seems sincere about this. He said, "I was actually glad that I could send Jimmy to a good team. I didn't want to send him to a bad team."
Wow.
So that told me that whatever went down, at least Riley wasn't so bitter and acrimonious that he just wanted to exile Jimmy to a bad team. And he also said he's going to be really good for this team.
Yeah.
He's going to work out, at least in the short term. He said, "I don't know what will happen down the road, but he's going to be good for this team now." So I wanted to get more time with Riley.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that way, but I wanted to, at least off the record, find out what the hell went down. Because it was pretty weird when Jimmy apparently likes to fly separate from the team a lot, likes to stay in separate hotels and stuff.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
And that was one of the points of contention. And I wonder how that's going to work here. If at some point, if Jimmy says, "I don't want to stay with the staff and the boys." So,
That's interesting. God, that's great to hear about Riley too, being such a pro and not holding a grudge or anything. Scott, I want to get back to the Warriors in a second, but you mentioned Riley and you mentioned the Lakers, and I've always wanted to ask you, since that show Winning Time came out, I wanted to get, what did you think of the show Winning Time? I assume you saw it, by the way. And did you like it? Or pro, cons? Like, what did you think of the show?
Tony, I can't tell you how much I hated it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And part of it, there's a disclaimer here.
Yeah.
That show came out of a book that was written by a guy named Jeff Pearlstein.
Right.
He writes some very good books, does good reporting. Well, like 35 years ago, I wrote a similar book, or co-wrote with another guy, a similar book on the Lakers, about the Magic Johnson era Lakers. And it was called Winning Times. And it was a good book. It wasn't a million seller because back in the day it wasn't as big a deal.
Yeah.
But it was a good book. And about 5 years ago or so, a Hollywood producer discovered this book in an old bookstore or something like that, and called my co-writer of that book and said, "Hey, we want to make a TV dramatic series out of this."
Oh, wow.
And so we took it way down the road. We had contracts almost ready to sign. We had Magic Johnson and Jeannie Buss signed up.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
With us, and it was all ready to go. And Jeff Pearlstein's book also created interest from another Hollywood group, and so it became dueling Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, that's wild.
Gotcha.
And their side basically, I'm not bitter at all about this, but they basically out hustled our side. Our guys dragged their feet or whatever, so they wound up with the deal. So that should have been my TV show.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That said, I put my bitterness aside because I don't think there was any dirty dealing or anything like that. So I don't have that kind of bitter feelings. But they did such a terrible hatchet job on that whole story.
Gotcha.
And on the individual people involved, but mainly on the whole attitude and story. I was around for that entire ride. I covered the team in Magic Johnson's rookie year. I knew what was going on. I didn't know about all the drug stuff, and there was some stuff I didn't know, but I was there for the whole ride. Yeah. And it was a joyride. It was an incredible wave of enthusiasm, joy of remaking the National Basketball Association.
Right.
It was a rebirth. It was a whole different thing. And the joy at the Forum in Inglewood on a nightly basis, it was crazy. The energy. Yeah. And what they did on the show is they turned it into some kind of dark soap opera with all these weird.
True.
Yeah.
And I just thought they ruined it, and not only that, but they stole our name.
Yeah. No, man. Hey, listen, you got every right to be slightly, if not more, frustrated. So I get it, Scott. But I got to tell you, man, for me as a kid watching those teams, that I still maintain that might be the most beautiful basketball I've ever seen. Oh. The Magic Johnson Lakers, on the fast break with Worthy and Cooper, the no look pass, like it was artful. It was like poetry in motion, that team. So I always have a soft spot for those 80s Lakers, and I appreciate that take, Scott. Back to the Warriors, and I want to do a couple of Giants questions at the end, Scott, and then we'll let you go. But one more thing on the Warriors. Going into the postseason, I know they're fighting for that 6th seed. That's going to do them a great service if they can hang on to that. Right. But I think the big obstacle that I've gleaned is that they have a hard time with big teams. Like, those big bodies on OKC, they can, the Denver Nuggets, got very physical with the Warriors. So how do you think they kind of match up, I guess, against the Western Conference elite like Denver, like OKC? Because those guys get real physical. They use the big bodies. And I don't know if the Warriors have an answer, Scott. What do you think about that? Yeah,
I don't think they do have an answer. Strangely enough, Gary Payton was sometimes an antidote to that kind of stuff, that even though he's, a 6'3" small power forward or whatever, he could sometimes guard those guys and at least take some of those minutes away. And with him out of the picture for 4 to 6 weeks, that definitely hurts that.
Yeah.
And I think in the playoffs, they allow more physical stuff. Yeah. And so the big guys just pounding in the middle, that's going to be more of a problem. So that's definitely going to be a challenge, because it's just so against the grain what the Warriors are doing now with no big guy. They've always pulled it off in the past, with the small ball, that lineup and all that stuff. But I think that's going to be a bit of a problem. That's going to be probably the main challenge right now.
Yeah. Scott, have you heard anything about Curry today and whether or not he's going to play today? Because we haven't heard anything.
I did not hear anything today.
Yeah, same.
It seemed that I got the feeling that he probably would try to come back. For one thing, Steve Kerr said that this is the biggest game of the season. They're playing a crappy team.
Yep.
They have to beat. They have to win this game with 10 games left to go and stuff. They can't afford not to. And so I'm thinking they don't want to be too crazy. Steph is still really ailing. If he can barely walk, he's not going to go. But my sense is that he's going to go. He's got to go against these guys.
Yeah, I would
think so. You got to beat performance to be in the picture. But that's the spot they're in.
Scott,
when you think about it, it's not a bad spot considering where they were 2 months ago, right?
Oh my God, question. No, it's like night and day. No, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
I mean, once Jimmy Butler hit the scene, I mean, you can see the evidence is in their 1-loss record, but the games are fun to watch again. Like Warrior basketball has become fun again. The crowd is energized again at Chase Center. So yeah, it's been night and day from the first half. And Scott, real quick, last basketball question. Who do you like in the East? Like, who do you think is the big dog? I know Boston, but who do you like? Because Cleveland's pretty good too.
Yeah, I know Cleveland just never loses, right?
Yeah, right.
I just like I like Boston when you come right down to it with their experience and everything, and and they're like three main guys who can come at you at any time, and good size, and they're physical and all that stuff, and just so experienced. And maybe it goes back to the old days when I was a kid and I just hated the Celtics with a passion.
Me too.
I still have that kind of hate and fear carry over, and I think it's justified for what they have now. I think they have a really beautiful team.
Yeah, no, they really do. They really do. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if they could take. It's, as we all know, it's extremely difficult to repeat in the NBA, and it's extremely difficult even just to get back to the finals 2 years in a row. But Tony, I wanted to switch gears and do a couple of Giants questions with Scott. So if you have a Giants one, I want you to jump in on this. But my first one is it's a big picture question, Scott. But we heard so much talk, and this is kind of an off the field thing before we talk about the game itself, but. There was so much talk in the offseason about the Giants ownership and the direction that they're taking this team and whether or not they've lost touch with the fan base. Does that have any legs to you, Scott? Like just the state of the team in the San Francisco fan base in the community right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's legitimate questions. There's a couple of things. For one thing, the Giants, the people that own the Giants are doing this gigantic real estate developing now.
Yeah.
Across the McCovey Cove,
Cove, yeah.
And it's a huge deal. And so there's always the question, the suspicion or whatever that's kind of their priority now. They've become a money-making organization.
Right.
It happens to have a baseball team. And that's always a danger because that's kind of the way things are going in sports, where it used to be guys who own a baseball team because they wanted to win. And now it's guys who own a baseball team just a way to get in this big real estate game and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Suspicion there. And there's always the suspicion about we don't even know who the real owner of the Giants is. We know the majority guy is Charles Johnson, who's this weird guy in Florida who spends his money on weird political causes.
Right, man.
We don't even know who to distrust, right?
Yeah.
And so that's always going to be a thing. And also the fact that the Dodgers have taken over baseball this year just financially. And there's the suspicion around the Bay Area that the Giants maybe could compete more in that respect and just are hanging back because they don't want to spend the money. So it remains to be seen, but they definitely can't. They're not in the same ballpark with the Dodgers when it comes to spending, for sure.
No, God, no. Scott, what do you think of the pitching rotation? So, I mean, and with Kyle Harrison being sent down, I just want to know what you think of the pitching rotation, because I like Birdsong, and I think he had a great spring. Well, twofold. Do you put any stock in how well they did in the spring, number one? And number two, what do you think of the pitching rotation?
Well, I put a lot of stock in it, and I think Bruce Jenkins has written this, that maybe the one advantage that the Giants might possibly have over the Dodgers is the starting pitching. Also, the bullpen is very good, but the fact that they got Harrison tucked away in the minors, ready to come back up, and I wrote a thing for our little baseball. We had a roundtable, and they said, "What do you think? What are you going to look for early in the season as an indicator of how the team might do?" And I said, I'm going to look at the starting rotation the first 2 times through the rotation.
Sure.
Was that first 10 games. And if they can get through that basically healthy, I think that's going to be a really good indication, because, pitcher health is such a major part of baseball now.
Huge.
And it has been such a major part of the Giants' failures in the recent past, guys just breaking down.
Yeah.
And if they can just keep the guys healthy, and the indications are pretty good in that respect. Like Robbie Ray had the Tommy John 2 years ago, so he's had a full year recovered. He would seem to be in a perfect position to be healthy and strong this year. And Verlander coming back from the little problems he had, and he seems to have learned from that and gotten healthier from that. So the indications are that we know these guys can all pitch.
Right.
And the indications are that they're going to be healthy enough to do it. And that's super encouraging to me.
Do you think, I'm sorry, Tony, go ahead. Tony.
Well, my big question mark, Scott, is Jordan Hicks, because I don't think he had a very good spring. And then I just don't know what to think about him, whether or not he should be in the pen or a starter. So I guess, like you said, maybe give him a few starts to see how he goes, but he feels like the question mark to me in the staff.
Yeah. And certainly he's one of those guys that has everything. Obviously he can throw hard and all that stuff, but there's that little X factor, that intangible or whatever, and that hasn't quite clicked in yet. And if that clicks in, then
that'd be sweet. That'd be great.
I think my last question is going to be another kind of big picture question, but how would you kind of grade Buster Posey's efforts so far, Scott? Because I think just me talking to Giant fans, what I hear a lot is I expected more, or I was hoping we'd be in the conversation for the big fish out there, like your Juan Soto's and guys like that of that kind of level and that stature. And I don't know, did he underwhelm, or do you think, Scott, this is about what you expected with Buster Posey in this new role?
I wouldn't see he underwhelmed because he got Willie Adames, which was big.
Yeah.
And apparently he was a key guy in getting Chapman to re-sign, and that's important.
Yep.
And I don't think we can blame Buster if the Giants just don't spend enough, or if they fall a little bit short because they get a little bit tight with the money.
Yeah.
That's sort of above his pay grade, but I think he's made some really significant changes. And just in the feel and the tone of the game, one of the things being, it used to be until this year when you walked in the Giants clubhouse, the first thing you would, the manager's office on the left and right on the right, it used to be the clubhouse manager's office. And they changed that into like this big high tech, it looked like Houston Command Central.
Wow.
Type of stuff, their analytics. So analytics guys are sitting in there crunching numbers, and it looks like a lab or something like that. Well, Buster got rid of that. He took those guys off in another room or something, which is in a way kind of symbolic. But
yes,
I think he has turned the team more into a baseball team, and I think that's more than just symbolic. I think the players appreciate that and will respond to it. And yesterday, I'm watching the game on TV, and the camera panned to Buster sitting in the box.
Yeah,
the general manager, right? And they panned in on Buster, and he was talking. He was paying attention to the game, and I found myself taking a big sigh of relief. Like, okay, we got a real baseball guy in charge now, and that's
it's so
nothing
nice.
against the analytics guys, or Farhan Zaidi had his good qualities and stuff like that, but it just feels better having Buster in charge. Now, maybe that's all going to be cosmetic, and Buster will turn out to be a bust. But right now, I feel really good about that.
Yeah, right on. I agree.
Scott.
I do too. And last thing for you, Scott, and then we'll let you go. And we appreciate the time today. Tony and I are big music lovers, and we always like to ask our guests. And I'm going to ask you today, Scott. What are you listening to right now? Like, what's on your playlist? What's on your turntable? What's playing on the speakers in Scott Ostler's house?
Well, I get so locked into work, I don't always play. But one thing when I'm in the car, a lot of times with my wife, she's gotten into starting playing this. John Mayer's got a station on Sirius, right?
Oh yeah.
Where he picks this thing, and it's real eclectic and it's very interesting. You got old stuff, new stuff. He's all over the board, and I like that because you sample so many different things. But when I'm sitting here and I put music on in the background, I'll just put in like jazz because I don't need words complicating stuff. So I'll put in old school. I'll say play John Coltrane or
nice.
Like that. So I'll go with that. But I love the blues. I love old school blues. I love Stevie Ray Vaughan, even going back to like Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee and guys like that. So I like that kind of stuff. I like Southern rock.
Well, let me throw a book recommendation that you got on the way out. So I'm reading the autobiography right now of Peter Wolf, who was the lead vocalist of the Jay Giles Band, but his youth in Boston is extremely interesting. So you like the old blues guys. I didn't know this at all, but Peter Wolf befriended Johnny Lee Hooker and Muddy Waters when he was a young man in Boston. So he's got these incredible stories about hanging out with Muddy Waters in Boston, hanging out with Johnny Lee Hooker, hanging out with Bo Diddley, but they're very detailed. Like, he gets really in depth. So it's a really interesting read, Scott. I recommend it. The Peter Wolf book. I think it's called Walking on the Moon. But it's the guy who was a singer in Giles Band, and really interesting. And I think you would like it. So
that's cool. I love that world. Anytime I'm in Chicago, I always go to the South Side Blues clubs and stuff like that. And that's I really like that. So I'll pick that up. Thanks, Paulie. Appreciate that.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah. Hey, Scott, thank you for the time, bro. You've been a great friend over the years. It's great to see you again on our new show, and we'll be knocking on your door down the road as well. Have a great weekend, Scott. Anytime.
Thanks, Tony and Paulie. It's great, Paulie, to see you back where you belong in the public, talking about sports and talking about music and stuff. So, and thanks, and please I'll come on again, but you got those green M&Ms, man.
Yeah. We got you, man. We'll take care of it for you. That's Scott Ostler, everybody. Thanks again,
Thank you,
brother.
Scott.
Have
Thanks,
a good
man.
weekend. Yeah. Scott Ostler from the San Francisco Chronicle.
Yeah.
Tony, always been one of my favorite guys, not only for the work he does, which is insanely good, but also
Yes.
because he's just a cool guy to talk to, as
He's
evidenced
so-
today. What do you want? Anecdotes about Pat Riley? He's got them. You know what I
Yep.
mean? He's, yeah.
I loved his visceral reaction to winning time. I didn't know, but and that whole story about it, my God, I had no idea that. And dude, but they had Magic Johnson signed and ready to go. I have a feeling if Magic signed on, other players would have signed on, and who knows what would have happened. But
yeah, especially because Scott was there, as he said, he
Right.
covered that entire era.
Right.
So really, and you know what I heard, Tony? A lot of reason the people were pissed off about that show is the way that they portrayed Jerry West. They made Jerry
Yes.
West look like a axe wielding lunatic in that
Right.
show.
Right,
And
right.
I don't think he was too happy about that. So I do understand. Don Peralta with the super today. What's he saying, Tony? Read that one
Yeah,
for
he
me.
said Buster wins at every level. Same competitive mind to the front office. Thank you, Scott, for your writing. Just being super cool, dude.
Yeah.
Rocking on Scott. And I got to say, we are so lucky to have Scott and Scott Ostler and Bruce Jenkins are two of my favorite writers. And
they're
to
legends.
have those two,
Yeah.
their writing is like that cheap shots and Bon Mott's.
Yeah, the best. Scott, yeah, the best.
It's so entertaining, and I love Scott is so chill, but he's also can be really funny and really witty. And
No
so,
question, bro. He has
I'm
a really sharp sense of humor.
Yeah, I remember, Paulie, this is a funny, and we have another super I'll get up in a second. But I remember the last time we had him on the podcast, I kind of gushed over Scott because I'm like a fanboy with him because I really appreciate his work. And afterwards, I remember you were like, "Hey, Tony."
Yeah, chill, take it down a notch, brother. Because no, Tony was like, Scott, I freaking love you so much. And he said it like 10 times. I'm like, you're gonna scare him away, bro. You gotta tone it down. Yeah, dude, I remember that.
I learned, man. But I'm we're so lucky to have those guys, man. And Dom, thank you for the super, dude. Thank you for all you do.
Hey,
and then
Steve-o.
Steve, yeah. Meetup's going to be semi-regular. We hope so. Toronado, anyone? Nice. Couldn't go because of work.
I'm wondering if this is the Steve that was on the stream yesterday. Because if that's you, Steve, we definitely need to hang out. I just locked in on his vibe immediately.
Was that the Steve at the poster room with all the posters in the background?
That's what I'm asking. I mean, are you that Steve who we saw with the Stones poster? Let us know.
Thank you for the super. And he asked a question, Paulie. Paulie, your favorite Stones album? I know mine. Go.
Jesus, well, he's got the big ones up there already. I mean, he's got Exile on Main Street, Let It Bleed, Stick. It really depends on like which day you ask me. Like, I think part of my thing would always be Exile on Main Street because it's a double album and there's so much great music on there, like recorded in Keith's basement in the south of France. Like the mythology around that album is amazing. And you know what? I like a lot of the country flavored stuff the Stones do, like Dead Flowers. And there's a lot of that country flavored stuff on Exile, like Torn and Frayed, Sweet Virginia. I love those songs.
Totally.
So, Steve, since you're asking, but then again, I love the darkness of freaking Let It Bleed, dude. The midnight. You know what? I'm saying Let It Bleed. I'm going to say Let It Bleed, but that's just for today. That's just for today. You know, you got Midnight Rambler. You got Monkey Man. Can't always get. What do you want? Give Me Shelter. Boom. That's on there too. So, Steve, I'll go Let It Bleed. How about you, T?
Exile for me, number one, and then Sticky Fingers, number two for me. Those two, just I could listen to those on repeat. And by the way, the last time I think, they played Midnight Rambler last time I saw the Stones, and I love how they stretch it out and it gets weird, and it's just I love when they play that song live, man. So thank you, Steve.
Yeah, it's kind of become like the centerpiece of their live sets, like in the present day. Midnight Rambler, they crush it. Hey, Sons of Johnny Lee, I want to shout you out. We missed you yesterday, but I hope you saw the tribute we sent out. We sent out a tribute of Tony holding the shirt. And I had a picture of Rags, and then I draped it over the chair. So you were definitely represented yesterday, Sons of Johnny Lee. All right, Tony, home stretch of the show. Let's get into your.
Sons of Johnny Lee had a good suggestion about a pre-Metallica hang in July. So, or is it June? Is it June or July?
It's in June. Yeah, June. Two shows.
From the 22nd. Is that right?
No, I think it's 24 and 26. I'll have to check, but the shows are definitely in June.
And by the way, I'm sorry, Paulie, real quick. They were talking about. Earlier in the chat, they were talking about how Rod Brooks was at the party yesterday and he was wearing his Sex Pistols shirt. And then Sons of Johnny Lee let everybody know that the Sex Pistols are going on tour later this year. Did you know that? I did not know that. So
I don't know what Johnny Rotten's got left, bro. I don't know how that's going to work because he's a mess right now. He is. I've seen him. He's
really?
Yeah. Do you remember when we had Marky Ramone on the show and he told that story about they did a press conference, a punk rock documentary with Rollins,
Mhm.
Marky Ramone, and
Mhm.
Johnny Lydon, aka Johnny Rotten. And apparently Johnny Rotten was wasted at
Ugh.
Rollins actually said something to him like, if you keep acting this way, I'm gonna bite the ear right off your head. For real. Do you remember that story, Marky Ramone?
Yes, I do. I just totally forgot about it until now, dude.
He said something, or it was something like, if you keep behaving this way, because he shook his hand and then he wouldn't let go. And he's like, if you keep doing this, I'm going to remove the ear from your head and eat it for dinner or something like that.
Oh,
so
good.
And I would take Henry on his word at that kind of threat. So,
oh my God, I would not mess with Henry. I would not mess with Henry ever.
Hey,
So,
Tony, now we got to go punks. We got to go music assignment and particle pick. I'll let you steer the ship, but our final 3 acts, let's get into it. Yeah.
I also want to just say that I really hope Curry is back because, like Scott said, they need to win this game, man. And Curry is the vibe. He like, you want to talk about a vibe tribe guy. Curry is like the leader of the vibe tribe for the Dubs. And I think Butler misses Curry. So let's hope he comes back tonight. But yeah, Paulie, we can do particle picks.
Okay.
Or you want to do Paulie's punks first?
No, do punks first because we haven't done punks in a while, and I want to bring that back and make that a regular thing. So
Paulie's punks.
And the concept of this bit is that anytime someone does some cool punk rock shit out in the community, and that could be any number of things like protesting the right move or like just creating an act of punk rock out there. It doesn't even have to be musical. It doesn't have to be a musical thing. So Tony, I know you're excited to introduce a new punk today. Who do you have for us?
I'm going to actually present them on the screen because I feel like and we haven't really talked about them because we haven't really talked much about the A's being in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And by the way, somebody posted this on Twitter. Fanatics, the company that makes jerseys, like they had an advertisement for A's jerseys, and the dude was wearing an Oakland jersey. And it was like posted yesterday.
Okay,
like,
nice.
What are you doing? Yeah. Anyways, so I'm posting these guys. These guys, I want to just make them the punks, the Paulie's punks, the Oakland Ballers, dude. The Oakland Ballers. Shout out the Oakland Ballers. They had their inaugural season last year, and their second season is starting. By the way, they're doing they face the San Jose Giants in the Battle of the Bay, which is coming up too.
Wow.
At April 2nd at Excite Ballpark in San Jose. But I feel like these guys are taking on the punk mentality of like, you know what? If you're going to take baseball away from us in Oakland, we're going to start it ourselves. And I just couldn't be happier that baseball's back in Oakland, and they're doing it at Raimondi Park. They restructured the ballpark. It's a cool
where is that yard, ballpark. Tony? Where is that park over there?
God, I want to say it's like West Oakland, dude. But like here, I can find out exactly where it is.
Okay. It's okay. Yeah. I can look it up too. I was just curious. We should maybe think about getting somebody from that team on the show just to help them promote. Help them promote their cause over there. But dude, I like your mentality. So you're saying they're flying in the face of the A's leaving Oakland, and that's a punk rock act in itself, kind of thing.
Yes. Okay, and they're starting. I'm looking at their standings last year, 58-38. So they got a good club, man. And if you just want to go see some good local ball in Oakland in an intimate setting. By the way, opening day 4/20. April 20th.
Nice. Now, here's my question: who are the athletes? Are these like former college players? Are these like neighborhood? Like who are the guys on the field?
Yeah. So, by the way, guys, the park is in West Oakland. Yeah, thank you, Dom. Thank you for confirming that.
West. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I think they're former college players that are still trying to like play ball and make a career for themselves. And again, it's just we want to talk about that punk mentality of like, hey, you know what, John Fisher, you know what. A's management,
F you,
right,
John Fisher,
right?
Straight up,
exactly.
F you. Yeah, really, go F yourself. Yeah.
So I just Paulie's punks right here for this week. This week's edition of Paulie's punks right here. Paulie's punks.
I love it.
Are the Oakland Ballers because I love what they're doing over there, and I want to get over to games, and we should maybe. I don't know.
Well, JT Snow is in the front office. Maybe we can reach out to JT and get him on.
It's a great call.
Talk some ballers. Write that down so I don't forget, please, because Tony.
Yeah.
Write that down. So, okay, Paulie's punks. I'm glad we just got that back because I remember we started this thing. Hey, Bonnie, what's up? I see you over there. I wanted to say the reason we started Paulie's punks is because when they had that international hockey tournament about a month ago, and the U.S. guys started fighting the Canada guys, as soon as the opening faceoff hit, as soon as that puck hit the ice, guys were fist fighting. And I'm like,
Yeah.
That's some punk rock shit right there. So I said, like,
Yes.
let's start Paulie's Punks. This will be like guys that commit acts of punk rock. So Tony, well done, sir.
Nice. And there might be a PMP field trip to Raymondi Park for Oakland Ballers Ball.
There are so many ideas getting kicked around, like it was who was it, Son, saying let's have a pre-Metallica party. We could easily do that. And I talked to Neil from Longbridge yesterday. I was like, dude, maybe we can do something during the Warrior playoff run. And I thought, Tony, it might be even cooler to do it like on the weekend. That way people don't have to take the day off. You can get loose. You can really have a good time. And
Agreed.
for those asking the question, because I've seen it, wow, Billy Joe Armstrong is the owner of the Ballers.
Yeah, exactly.
Call his ass up. I know you guys are kind of acquaintances, Tony and Billy Joe. By the way, my boy Nick DiFrancesco, shout out to my guy DiFrancesco. Oh, dude, I couldn't get enough. Just the face of a DiFrancesco. Like every time I scanned the room, I'm like, there he is.
And by the way,
yeah,
Gun High School's Nick DiFrancesco, but Nick was part of the pub crawl after the show.
Oh,
or after
that's
the
so
party.
cool. Nice.
But all of a sudden, he was gone, and people are like,
he knows. Irish goodbye, baby.
And then I think Neil pulled an Irish goodbye too, which is the older I get, I'm a bigger fan of.
It's the best. It's the only way to go. And by the way, Lily Merchant is a super. Let's get her up there. Lily, so nice to meet you. She was lovely. Her friends are great. It was Lily. Thank you for coming yesterday. It was really nice to meet you and hang out with you. Yeah, we might. We'll make a move. We'll try to get JT on the show. I think that's
absolutely,
a great idea.
Especially if he wants to talk Oakland Ballers ball. I mean,
totally.
Right? Come on. Lily,
so
thank you for the super, and really nice to meet you yesterday. And your posse. Your posse was strong yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
Man.
They were a good vibe machine. They were a good particle machine over there in the corner, right up by the front. They just commandeered that front desk. That was that table had a lot of gangster particle energy going on. You had Lily Merchant and her crew. You had Vicky from Metallica with her crew. Like that whole front table was just a great energy over there. All right, Tony.
Real quick, you brought up Billy Joe Armstrong. I just want to tell people something about Billy Joe Armstrong. I coached his son in Little League years ago. Yeah, and I didn't know it was Billy Joe's kid until Billy Joe came to pick him up at practice. And I'm like, whoa, dude. Anyways. Dude, Billy Joe signed up to chalk the field multiple times for our 8 a.m. games, dude, where he was out there at like 7 a.m. chalking Little League fields in Oakland.
Great to hear that.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's just if you want to know what kind of guy Billy Joe Armstrong is, that's the kind of guy Billy Joe is, dude.
Did parents leave him alone at games and shit, or were they
yes,
yes,
everybody was cool, man. Good. And like we were on we did a tournament once in Sacramento, or where the hell we were. But anyways, they like bought movie tickets for the whole team to go. Like they're just the coolest cats around. It's just they were all about, again, they'd be part of the Vibe Tribe. They're all about community. It was great. It was
one of the great Bay Area bands of all time. I got to give them some love. I mean, I saw them live. I think I've only seen them once live, and I know they gig all the time around here, but I saw them once, and I was very impressed. I'm like, God,
and they'll show up at little clubs too, like the Gilman in Berkeley. You know,
I just got to say though, they were a good live band, really punchy, really tight. Like I was like, damn, these guys definitely know how to play live. So I was impressed. Speaking of Tony, from that to the musical assignment, and I told
and
Tony,
then we'll end on particle pick. We'll end on particle pick, or you want to go particle pick first?
Yeah, no, let's go assignment and then particle pick.
Okay, all right.
So in the middle of the fury of the opening day party at Longbridge yesterday, it was like loud where I'm screaming. I go, Tony, I got the assignment. Here it comes. And I was like, and I had the idea yesterday. So I told Tony at the party, I said, since it's opening day today, why don't we do a musical? And by the way, let me get my phone because I will be adding these to the playlist in a minute. But I said, let's do songs to celebrate opening day. Let's do great show opening songs, like a song that one of your favorite bands opens a concert with, or in our case, as we bands that do 2 sets, like what's a killer first set opener, what's a great show opener. And I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna jump right in.
Dive in, Paulie.
All right,
and
now
just to answer Rags asked if I'm sipping a ginger ale. Yes, Rags, I'm sipping a little baby. It's like a little smaller ginger ale.
See, you're going Schweppes, huh? You go Schweppes. See, I'm a Canada Dry guy. No,
Schweppes all day.
No, it can't be Schweppes. I got to reject Schweppes.
I think Schweppes was before Canada Dry anyways.
I will tell you this. I like saying the word Schwepp. It's just a fun word to say, Schwepp.
Give me a Schweppes, dude.
Like, that's my boy Schweppes. That's my boy Schweppesy.
My favorite beverage to have on the mornings where I'm a little slow. is an ice cold ginger ale. That's not my particle pick, by the way, but I'm just saying.
I understand. You know, it's funny when we got home last night, my buddy
Yeah.
Eugene poured himself a whiskey and ginger ale in a tall glass with some ice. Yeah.
Nice job, Eugene.
I went straight for the wine, and Eugene went straight for the ginger ale and whiskey. All right, here we go, Tony. A musical assignment of the week. So show openers for opening day. I would argue this might be one of the greatest, not only opening tracks of a record, but what a great way to open a show. Here it comes. We're going back to the Cheap Trick days. This is
that cover, dude. That's a great cover.
Well, it's the two cool guys on motorcycles, and then the back, it's even better. The comedy is flying. The other guys are on mopeds, dude. They're on mopeds. How great is that?
Great, dude.
You know what I mean? You got got cool guys, and you got the background guys on the moped.
Oh, dude.
But anyway, the song this is a classic In Color album. Slash from Guns N' Roses, big fan of this record.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, he's talked about this one. The song that I'm going to pick is the opening track. It's called Hello There. And here's what's cool about the song. It's a 90-second blast of just hard rock. You got the chainsaw guitar going. You got Robin Zander screaming the lyrics, "Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready to rock?" And then the second lyric, he says, "Would you like to do a number with me?" Now, here's the beauty of that line. "Would you like to do a number with me" is 70 speak for "Would you like to smoke a J with me?"
Nice.
Back in those days, and like Scott Ostler was talking about jazz guys and Coltrane, they used to call joints numbers. They'd be like, "Hey,
love
give
it.
me a number."
Why don't we start calling them numbers? Can we bring it back?
It's done. It's numbers from this day forward.
Do a
We're calling
number.
them numbers.
Let's do a number after the show.
I did a number on the street yesterday.
I did a number with you on the street.
You did do a number with us on the street. Yeah, that's right.
Ryan, shout out Ryan from Redmond, Oregon, formerly of Half Moon Bay.
Yeah.
And it was I think it was his father's product. So
I want to say
Ryan's Pops product.
a little comedy moment yesterday. We're out there and partaking in some herbal delish, and this pack of like Arkansas Razorback fans come walking like right down the street, right in the middle of our pot party we were having, and like there was smoke in the air, and also we just started ripping like, "Goddamn, I went to San Francisco. They were smoking pot right there on the street. I'm gonna go." You know what I mean? Like they're just like tweeting it out. It's a goddamn cesspool in San Francisco.
Totally.
The goddamn hippies have overtaken the government. They're smoking drugs right there in broad daylight. Anyway,
I'm never going back. I'm
that's
never going back.
That's a goddamn hellhole they got going out there. So anyway, Tony, Cheap Trick, Hello There. Final thing about this song. When they did this, they were still an opening band. They were opening for other bigger bands on the road. So the song Hello There also functioned as their sound check, because each instrument comes in one at a time. So the guitar starts, let's do that level. Then the drums start, let's do that level. Here comes the vocal, let's get Robin Zander. So it's kind of funny, like that was their sound check song on stage. Hello There. I will add it to the playlist after the show. Tony, the floor is yours.
That's such a great call. And by the way, another fun fact about that song, I believe, I could be wrong, Paulie.
Go ahead.
But when Robin Zander says this song is the first song on our new album, don't they go into Hello There after that?
Well, that's from Budokan. They go into Surrender, but I know you're
Surrender. Okay,
it's all good. It's all good.
The Beastie Boys sample that on Jimmy James on Check Your Head. They sample Robin Zander from Cheap Trick. Anyways, moving on. So I'll do mine. My particle pick. This may shock you. And by the way, I cannot believe somebody brought this album back to Vinyl Solution. Like they didn't want to keep it.
Okay.
But I found it in the used section a long time ago. This is Willie Nelson and Family live.
Ooh, nice.
And it's a show from Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
Dude, and it's from Harrah's, Lake Tahoe, Nevada, April of 1978. Look at these guys. I mean, come on.
No, that's the kind of crew I want to hang out with right there. Look at Willie with this freaking vest on. I love it.
Dude, is that amazing? Is that amazing? But the opening track for this show, and every time I put this record on, I'm like, yes, what a great way to open the show. Whiskey River, dude. So shout out. Yes. Yeah. Whiskey River, take my mind. Ba-ba-da-bow. Come on, dude. So I'm gonna go Whiskey River. By the way, I should open this up and just show everybody what's inside too.
Let me see the game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Look at this. First of all,
that's a great photo.
Look at that picture of Willie.
Great photo.
Is that? Look at that, and then look at this.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. Okay, here we go. Let's just get right into it. Everybody get on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Okay. Hey, wherever. God only knows what happened after those pictures were
Is that incredible? I mean, what a shot, man. What a shot. But it's two records, and it's Whiskey River. Opens the show. It's just, it goes Whiskey River, then Stay a Little Longer. Funny How Time Slips Away. It's just Paulie, by the way, you should get this record if you can find it. Willie and Family live from Harris Tahoe, April 1978.
Whiskey River, great choice, Tony.
Take my mind, it's a great lick.
I saw Bob Dylan and Willie Nelson last summer at Shoreline, and it was just great to see Willie, and he did play that song. He actually, you're right, he opened Whiskey River. Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh,
so all right,
good.
particle pick, and then we're out of here. And again,
Boom.
I'm gonna go first.
Should we feed the ducks? Like, I feel like we're not doing Tony's Top 3, but I'm gonna feed the ducks.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
I'm just gonna go. Why not? I feel like we can't go like 2 days in a row without feeding the ducks because we didn't have a show yesterday. So I feel like, well, let's feed the ducks as we wrap up the show and get everybody on their way for the weekend. And I just want to also, while we're getting ready for particle picks, I just want to shout out all of the stickers and merch that is that Dom made.
Yes,
is at Longbridge Pizza. Oh, we can talk about it when we give some love to Longbridge at the end of the show. But
Tony, I want
all the merch is there.
Yeah, totally. Thank you, Tony. And I have just added both songs to the playlist. So when you go to Spotify, search for PMP Playlist 25. It's waiting for you. It's getting good. This playlist is getting good, dude.
Yeah.
We got a couple of hours of music on there now. All right, this is kind of a funny one, but it's a true story. Particle pick of the week is a beverage that saved my life this morning. Now, because I wasn't feeling that great, I got to be honest. I had like my throat looked like I just like been eating hot coals or something from all the screaming. Like the combination for me of screaming in crowded rooms and booze is like a deadly combination because it always tears up my throat. So woke up this morning, got gravel in my throat. Of course, I start brewing a hot cup of a hot pot of coffee. But meanwhile, I go to my secret weapon. Might be the only reason I'm still alive. Might be the only reason I've survived all these years. And it is as follows: fresh squeezed orange juice. Now, Tony, I'm not talking about Tang. I'm not talking about Sunkissed. I'm not talking about Tropicana. I'm talking about like real fresh squeezed orange juice, which is available at most grocery stores and markets. That's really expensive. That's where they get you. You buy like a jug or whatever it is, a quart, a gallon. I have no idea. I don't know anything about measurements. But if you get like just one of those big gallon sized, I think it's a gallon size thing at orange juice, it's like $20. It's like really expensive, but it's so. In fact, watch me enjoy right now. Hold on, stand by, Tony.
Go. Get in. Nice. There you go. By the way, Paulie, do you have a fresh squeezer at home where you can just buy oranges and chop them in half and just give them a twist?
Listen to me.
You know,
give them a twist. Just show me how to do that again. I see.
Put on the thing and just go boom and give it. I
gotta be honest. I don't have the patience. For that. A little patience. No, so I just buy it squoze already, squeezed, whatever, fresh squoze. Yeah.
Squoze.
And I gotta say, it really saved my ass this morning because as soon as, in fact, let me get some more right now. Hold on.
There you go. Well, I'm gonna have a Schweppes while you have your orange juice.
This is the stuff. This is the stuff right here. So, Tony, my particle pick, my life-saving liquid.
Great question by Mark Graves. Pulp or no pulp, Paulie? That's the
this is kind of
question.
pulped up. This is kind of pulped up. And shout out Tony Soprano in his driveway yelling at Carmela. Hey, Carmela, you got the wrong orange juice. And she goes, I got the one you like with pulp. And Tony goes, no, I like the one that says some pulp. And then she just takes the cell phone and guns it at him, as any woman would in that situation.
Don't act like I got a choice.
Don't act like I got a choice. All right, Tony.
Aaron Kask with the super. Aaron, thank you so much, brother.
So my particle pick is the life-saving attributes of vitamin C and fresh orange juice. Try it at home, kids. You'll thank me. I promise. It's worth the money. Forget about all that processed shit they're doing in the laboratories. You know what I mean? Go to the real deal, man. Let them squeeze it for you. Get some OJ. Then come talk to me. It's the best move I've ever made. Tony, the floor is yours.
Let Mother Nature provide the sugars. Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, come on, sugar. And I just want to give Aaron Kastner another shout out.
Come on, sugar. Pour some sugar on me, Tony, if you could.
Dude, one lump or two, Paulie.
Oh, bro, come on. You know what I mean? What kind of lyric is that?
Do you take
Like, dude, who writes that?
Sugar.
Is that the lyric? Do you
Do you
take
take
sugar?
sugar, 1 lump or 2? Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I'll back those guys.
1 lump or 2.
That's pretty bad. That's Spinal Tap level. That's bad. And I like Def Leppard, especially their early stuff. They're pretty rocking.
The first 2 albums are great.
But don't come at me with 1 lump or 2. That's where I got to go separate ways. I can't help you. Yeah,
and then also on the same album, there Love Bites, Paulie. Love Bleeds. It's bringing me to my knees.
Does it bite and bleed? I got you. Okay.
It's bringing me to my knees. Okay?
Actually, that's true. In my experience, it does bite and bleed. That is true. Yeah. I've been bitten a few times. Matter of fact,
you think?
I'm a bloody mess half the time. Tony, give me your
dude.
particle pick for God's sakes. Yeah.
Thanks for the super, Aaron. Oh, hold on. We don't need no stinking badges.
Oh,
with the
badges.
super.
Hey, in Lima, Peru, they squoze it for you on the street. That a boy. That's what I'm
Nice,
talking about.
dude.
Look at the hat in that photo, dude. Look at the hat he's wearing on that
Stinking
super.
badges, man. What
Stinking
a great,
badges. He comes strong. He's quiet. He's a quiet
was
assassin. Yeah.
So fun to meet everybody yesterday, and it was fun. I had great conversations with many people yesterday, and I had a great conversation with Stinking Badges.
Me too.
And
Badges
he's got
cool.
plans for Paulie Mac,
I
Paulie
know.
Mac's Particles. He's got plans.
Good plans, too.
Yeah.
Good plan. Tony, your pick, for God's sakes.
Okay. Well, Paulie, this has actually got some particles to this particle pick because we had Laird Hamilton on the Paulie Mac on the Paulie Mac podcast it was like, I don't know, pre-COVID, I think. Was that
If I was ever gonna make out with a dude, I was thinking about it that day. I'm like,
dude,
this
he
might
walks
be like
in all
the
tanned
perfect male
up
specimen. He's like the perfect male specimen,
and
married to a perfect female specimen. Like one of the, I think surfers at that level might be some of the coolest guys walking the planet. Laird Hamilton. Being in the same room with him, I got to tell you, Tony, I was thinking about exploring some feelings I don't normally explore. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, finish your thought on Laird.
Totally. Well, Laird was a guest on our show, and like you said, he walked in. He's just a striking individual.
Good word. Yeah.
And couldn't be cooler. Couldn't be nicer. And
very
nice
nice guy.
Humble.
Yeah.
Like he's super humble too. Anyways, he lives in Hawaii with his wife Gabby Reese, and they have started their own line of food and different creamers and things. And so I said, you know what? I've met him. I've talked to him. We've interviewed him. I trust this dude. I'm gonna go in. It's kind of like how we trust Carlos, right? Trust Laird as well. So I'm giving you. I put this in my coffee every day.
Wow.
It is the Laird Superfood Creamer.
Wow.
And it is coconut milk, coconut sugar, and then it's got the 4 mushrooms, Paulie, that are good for you. It's got the lion's mane, the chaga, the maitake, and the cordyceps mushrooms. Lion's mane mushroom supports cognition and mood. Chaga's chemistry showcases antioxidant power. Maitake strengthens, supports immune function, and cordyceps loved by endurance performers for its ability to elevate energy. So
I'll tell you what, I don't dispute anything you just said, because I saw Laird Hamilton, I saw his physique. Now you're dropping cognition on me, bro. If anybody needs some cognition work, it's me. My cognition's all fucked up. Like I got to get my cognition in order. You know,
I mean, it is, Paulie. You took 2 tablespoons of this stuff in your coffee, and then but you got to have a frother, dude. You got to froth it. Well,
you're making a lot of demand. Now I got to have like a thing to squeeze juice. I need a frother. I mean, like when are we going to,
just listen and learn. Okay. The frother is the way to go. The frother is once you froth, dude, you can't not froth anymore. That's all I'm going to say.
I said I like the one with some froth. You know what I mean? Yeah. Get another phone thrown at me. Yeah. No, I said you like froth. I said I like it with some froth.
Some froth. But I'm telling you, once you froth, it's hard to have coffee with.
Tony, I'm already looking ahead. I'm already looking ahead to next year's Paulie Mac Particle Bummer Brackets. Can we get a matchup, a death match between froth and pulp? And a matchup. Which one is going to advance, froth or pulp? I think that's a matchup that people need to see.
That's a great call, man.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I look forward to the turn of the Bummer Bracket next week.
Totally. We just
have to advance to the next round next week.
Yeah.
Hey. By the way, go Ole Miss today against Michigan State. Although I love Tom Izzo, I hate rooting against Tom Izzo.
I love Izzo too. I
have Ole Miss in my pool, and I need Ole Miss to beat Michigan State today.
I gotta tell you, Tony, I love relationships. I love the relationship between great coaches and great players and how they can endure for entire lifetimes. Like the way Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and John Wooden had a special thing, or Bill Walton and John Wooden, or Tom Izzo and Draymond Green. Like that bond between Draymond and Izzo, that will last forever. You listen to Draymond Green talk about Tom Izzo, and he literally gushes. He's like,
Yes.
you know what? Tom
Yes.
Izzo helped me in so many ways, and I love that kind. Do you have a coach in your life still that you're still thankful?
It was my high school coach who passed away last year, and it was tough for me because he was not just like a coach, but he was also like another father figure or older brother figure to me, who was just. It was tough because.
Well, but now this is your high school baseball coach?
Yes, Jim Decker was his name, and a phenomenal human being and baseball coach, and all the stuff he taught me I still use when I coach my kids and coach my teams, because he just so many life lessons I learned from that guy. And dude, this guy, I could go on and on. He just wasn't a phenomenal man. And Jim Decker, cheers to Jim Decker. Heavenly cheers up to him, because he passed away and he was just like the way Draymond talks about Izzo. Is the same way I would talk about Jim Decker. But my college coach was a really cool cat too, because he had all these little slogans. Like, we wore on our practice jerseys, their practice jerseys for USF said "Magic Today." And it was the acronym was Magic was an acronym for Make a Greater Individual Commitment Today. And
I know that.
No,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Great answer. I mean, these high school guys, my buddy Rags, his, our high school football team and the coach, Mr. Wilkins, Coach Wilkins, this guy was
nice.
like a New Jersey legend. He won some state championships. And I know Rags and Coach Wilkins were like bonded and locked in for years. In fact, you want to hear some crazy shit? Last thing for the show. Last thing. True story. True story.
Man, hold on.
Dude. What?
There's a whole frothing conversation going on.
I told you.
In the comments, dude. And sorry, Paulie, I got distracted, man. But because well, first of all, Noemi, your husband Ray, of course, he bought you a frother because he's a cool cat.
Ray's a gangster, dude. Ray's a freaking gangster.
By the way, Ray's a musician. He gigs in Martinez. We got to go check him out in Martinez. I think he's gigging next Friday in Martinez. But the dude, what did Christian say?
Well, I want to say, I got one last Rag story for the day. This is true. This is how I benefited from Rags's relationship with his high school football coach, because I didn't play football, but Rags and I were like best friends, and the coach knew me through Rags. I was like a long-haired rock and roll kind of troublemaker in high school, and Rags was like the captain of the friggin' football team, so it was kind of an unlikely pairing. And I think Mr. Wilkins would be like, "Hey, Rags, who's this kid with the long hair you're always hanging out with?" And then, but he got to know me. So check this out. One day, dude, my typical day in school, I decided I was just going to leave school. I just said, you know what? I think I'm done for the day. So I was like a senior, and I got in I'm not kidding, bro. I walked out to the parking lot, got in my car, or at least I was leaving for a little while. You know what I mean? I was going to leave and come back. So I jumped, and I'm not telling anybody. I just figured I'd go home, eat lunch, maybe listen to some music,
dude,
and then come back.
This is why this rules so much, because that's a punk move right there.
So, dude, I freaking listen to this. So I run out to the parking lot, and I get in my car, and I'm leaving the school. I'm driving out of the parking lot, dude, and all of a sudden there he comes, Mr. Wilkins, who was not only the football coach, he was also the principal. Okay, the guy's a principal.
Dude, whoa,
yeah.
That's a hell of a double dip right there.
That's how Mr. Wilkins used to roll, dude. Winning
Did
football
he have like
games.
a bunk bed at school?
It may be.
Right?
So, dude, here I go, dude. I'm pulling out of the parking lot. There's Mr. Wilkins, bam, right there, looking right at me, dude. We lock eyes, and I just keep going. I drive away. And then when I come back to the school, now I'm sitting in class like an hour later, and here comes the loudspeaker. It's like, Paul McCaffrey, please report to the principal's office. I'm like, shit, they got me. Mr. Wilkins caught me red-handed. He saw me. So I go down there, and as soon as I get to the office, he goes, this is how he talked. He had kind of a talk voice like this. He used to talk like this. And he go, McCaffrey, do you know why you're here? And I said, yeah, I do. Sorry about that. I told some bullshit. I had to run home and grab something. I said, look, I had to go get my homework. I left my science at home. Normally I wouldn't have done that. But the cool thing was he let me go. He goes, I'm going to look the other way on this one, because I know you and Rags are close, but don't do it again. And then I got in trouble like basically once a week, and he never really scolded me. He always let me go.
Cool.
But
that's cool.
That's because of his relationship with my boy Rags, though. So anyway, coaches affecting kids in many, many ways back in the day. All right, Creative Tony, dismiss the class. Thanks again to everybody from Longbridge Pizza, Carlos at Flex Funding. You guys were amazing. And Neil Tenardi for hosting us yesterday. Thanks again so much. We'll do a proper Longbridge ad on Monday. But I think for today, we're just going to close the books. Thank everybody for showing up yesterday. Thank you, Longbridge. Please do stop by this weekend if you're going to March Madness. Grab a pie at Longbridge. You'll see. I'm not kidding around. It's great food. And all that merch is there. All that PMP merch is still there. So if you want to grab some shirts, posters, stickers, what have you, go ahead, stop by Longbridge, load up on your stuff. As John Bender said in Breakfast Club, you load up, you party. Like when he's asking Anthony Michael Hall, what do you guys do in the math club? He goes, we get together, we talk about math equations, and we solve problems. And then Bender goes, you load up, you party. So anyway, Tony, go load up and party. Thanks again for everybody for coming out yesterday.
Totally.
And dismiss the class T.
Class dismissed.
Eddie Van Halen for freaking life. All right, Tony, on the way out. Thank you, sir. Tony, thank you for all your great efforts. Thanks to the PMP Army. It was such a pleasure to hang with you guys. We're definitely doing it again. And I'll have details and announcements as soon as something's in place. But my hope is to do something during the Warriors playoff run, which I hope is a deep one. Tony, I'd say go Giants, but there's no game today, which sucks. You know what I mean? So you got to wait till tomorrow. Warriors tonight, though, at New Orleans. Scott Ostler said it's a game they have to win. I agree. There's only 10 games left. Off tomorrow. Then you got Warriors Spurs on Sunday.
Yeah.
Tony, that's all I can give. I can't give anything else today, so I'm going to let you go. Going to let the audience go. Your final thoughts, Steve.
I just woke up with so much gratitude for everybody coming yesterday, and for Longbridge Pizza, and for Los coming flying in for the gig, and for Rag sending his signed glossy with the new T3 sign. Right, I forget.
I can't do it either. I know I can't do it either. Yeah.
But Rags, I'll have to get Rags to do a demonstration next time he comes on with us. And just everybody, it was so great to meet everybody and hang out, and I look forward to the next one for damn sure. It's gonna be fun, man. And we got March Madness this afternoon. We've got no Giants ball, but Curry, and hopefully Curry's back.
You were
Fingers
feeling
crossed.
gratitude. I want to close the show with a Beastie Boys quote. It's called gratitude, and that's right. All right,
dude, totally.
Hey, much love to you, Creative Tony. Much love to all y'all in the comments line. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there. And Rags, you hold it down on the East Coast. We'll see you guys again on Monday right here on Paulie Mac Particles, 11 a.m. Monday morning. See you then, y'all. Peace.